Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It is not all in your head. My name is Jeff Pearson. I'm your host, reminding that you are not alone. You are not alone. In a world that where it's easy to feel invisible, I want you to know that I see you. I see you. And we are a community. And I'm here to show you just how big and beautiful that community is and how big and beautiful it can be. And speaking of community, we have a beautiful family here today as our guest that I'm going to bring on right now. Here we go. Yay! Welcome.
Morning, Jeff.
To the Brubaker family. Say hello, everybody.
Hey, Jeff.
I'm going to turn that up a little bit because now I can't hear it. There we go. So, who do we have here? Make some introductions. Go around here. Who we have?
I'm John.
And I am Jillian. And these are our daughters, Cora. She is 7 years old, and Miss Abigail, who is 9 months old today. And thank you so much for having us here today.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's an honor. I am so excited to have you guys here. 9 months today. That's fantastic. Oh man, having a little breakfast, right on.
Yes.
So, yeah, so this is so cool. So tell us, tell me and everybody watching, tell us about your family and where you guys live. And who are you guys? Tell us about you.
We live in Pennsylvania, so we're central Pennsylvania, born and raised, all of us, and we love to travel, but we remain here for living purposes in Pennsylvania. And John and I met 10 or more years ago at both of our first jobs, kind of outside of college. We met there. And became friends and didn't start dating till a number of years later, and then got married. We have these two beautiful girls, and Abigail was just born last summer in July. We said she's 9 months old today.
Yeah.
And Abigail was born with both Down syndrome and hydrocephalus.
All right on. Wow, that's a handful. Oh yeah. My goodness. And so how long have you guys been married?
We've been married for about 2 years now.
Yeah, almost
2 years. All right. Right on. So you guys are practically newlyweds still. Right on. 2 years. Come on. That's great. So tell us about, obviously with hydrocephalus and Down syndrome, was there, tell us about the pregnancy. Was there things along the way that was going on that you found out during the pregnancy that kind of gave you a clue what was happening? Or
yeah, when I was about 11 weeks pregnant, we had a blood test done, and that test had revealed to us that Abigail had a very high likelihood of having Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I think we were pretty naive to what that totally meant. We knew, that there's some physical features associated with Down syndrome. There could be some learning disabilities associated with that. But outside of that, we didn't know how complex Down syndrome really was. So with Down syndrome, there can be a number of medical conditions. With that extra chromosome, any one of the organs or functions in your body may develop incorrectly. And 50% of children with Down syndrome actually require open heart surgery, which was a huge shock to us.
Oh my God.
And so at that point in the pregnancy, obviously, you love your child and you just want them to be healthy. And the thought of open heart surgery was terrifying. And so we just really were praying on that and really worried that how her heart would develop through pregnancy. And so our first insight into how her heart was growing and how the four chambers looked would be our 20-week anatomy scan. And for most people, that's the scan. You're excited to go find out the gender, and it's like this really exciting appointment during pregnancy. But unfortunately for us, it wasn't that. It was sort of this fearful appointment, and one where we were not sure what to expect and what news we were going to get. Again, all our focus was all around her heart, but what we found out was while her heart was developing really well, her brain was not. So at that point, during her anatomy scan, all they could see in her brain was water, essentially, was fluid. And obviously all of your viewers learned about hydrocephalus last week in your episode when you shared your story, Jeff. But hydrocephalus, it's the collection of fluid in the brain. So as Abby was developing, that drainage system to get rid of the cerebral spinal fluid was not developing for her. And so all that fluid was just accumulating. With hydrocephalus, as you know, you really need quick intervention, right, to drain that pressure to prevent brain damage. And while you're pregnant, that's not an option. They can't go in and release that pressure. So we had no choice at that point but to continue to wait for another 20 weeks, right? Likely till 40 weeks of pregnancy to have an intervention. And so it's just weekly appointments of waiting and hoping. And it was a really difficult time. The prospect was not good. The doctors were very negative because all they could see was fluid, just saying, she would never walk, she would never talk, she would be a vegetable, they had us prepared for, essentially palliative care when she was born, and that was if she was going to even make it. It was really tough, and it was not a time where we were offered a lot of hope.
Yeah, that would be. Oh man, well, let me preface this by saying I love doctors and surgeons. They've done so many amazing things for so many people, and me personally, I wouldn't be here without them. But oh my gosh, sometimes they don't help the situation when they're being all negative like that. That's not what a parent wants to hear. So that is crazy.
That's an important part of our story, is to share with other families that might be in that similar boat, that the doctors were wrong. She's perfectly fine.
Doctors know a lot of stuff and they go to school for a long time, but they don't know everything.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm going to just give me 1 second here. I almost forgot about a very important part of our show, which is our live audience. And I want to just say hello to everybody out there. Anyone who's listening on Facebook or YouTube or on the E360 TV live stream on there. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. And wanted to ask you to chime in on the chat with us here while we're talking to see if anybody out there in the audience has had anybody in their family that has had either Down syndrome or hydrocephalus, because it'd be interesting to know who's watching that can relate to this. So, okay, so you found out at the 20-week appointment that should have been really fun, and that was the time that you found out that she was going to have, that she had hydrocephalus, or that she was developing hydrocephalus, I suppose.
That's right.
And because all the fluid was there, and as an infant, I know there's the skull hasn't fully formed yet, and so it's a little, I feel like it's a little I don't want to say better, but I mean there's a little bit of give there, so it's a little easier to kind of take care of it when it's easy if there's no other complications, but it's still really scary as a parent. I mean, I since I have it and I've never had a child with it, I cannot imagine. And you found out before she was even born. I mean, that was I found out at 2 weeks after born. That'd be an interesting pregnancy to go through all the rest of that pregnancy with. So how many at her age now, at 9 months, with hydrocephalus? First of all, when was she shunted the first time? When did she get her first one?
When she was 3 days old.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I didn't waste any time. 3 days old.
Yeah.
Okay. And what? Just out of curiosity, did they tell you why they waited 3 days, or why they didn't just do it like the first day?
Yeah.
The doctors just really wanted to observe her when she was born. there wasn't an immediate necessity for her to have it right then and there. And so I just wanted to see her for a little bit and get a gauge on how she would do through the surgery. So they gave it as long as they really could, where they felt comfortable.
I suppose, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they did testing, additional MRIs when she was born, and scans, and her breathing wasn't stabilized. They had to do an emergency C-section at 36 weeks. So she was also on the CPAP and breathing support. So they were trying to stabilize a few things. And like you said, her skull could expand with the pressure a little bit. And so that bought them a little bit of time. But yeah,
yeah, a little bit, but still, they got right on it. That's great. Yeah. Was there anything else? I mean, was there any other complications with that? Like any, I mean, not that you need it anymore, but well, you know, did they tell, was there anything else going on, or?
No. So her first surgery went really well, went as expected and everything, but she ended up being allergic to the suture type that they initially used.
Oh no.
So her site and her incision was starting to become infected. So at 8 days old, then she had to go back in. The brain surgeon went back in and completely redid the surgery, pulled that shunt and redid it, and then sutured her up with the suture that worked better for her.
So because of the suture, because she was allergic to the sutures, not anything internal, but just the sutures that they sealed up the wound with, that was enough for them to just do a whole nother revision a few days later.
Yeah, because they couldn't tell whether or not infection was going to get inside of her brain, which at that point would have been very detrimental and life-altering for her. She could have passed from that, so they elected to pull everything and go back in with brand new stuff.
Wow.
So they rushed. They more or less rushed her in. The brain surgeon came in. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was an immediate.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Especially when there's an allergic reaction that close to the. I mean, because they probably didn't know where it was, and they definitely didn't want to have any infection near the brain. That gets ugly quick. So yeah, that's not surprising. Holy cow. So what kind of emotions were you guys? I mean, obviously, probably, you know, some I could probably guess, but what kind of emotional roller coaster were you guys on at that point? I mean, that's a lot of challenges.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to sum up into words. We were elated, obviously, that she was here and that we had her, but obviously we're scared forward with, you know, brain surgery at 3 days old is crazy. Like, it's hard to even comprehend it as a parent. You know, she's so small that you have to just trust people with her. So
oh my gosh, yeah.
Really for us, I mean, we really leaned on her faith and gave us some hope, and we knew that she had a plan, and we just really trusted that things were going to be fine.
I was going to say, you mentioned earlier that you were praying, and I was going to say you trusted the medical professionals, but you also trusted God, because he's the one that's guiding them, right? That is, woo, yeah. Talk about an exercise in faith. That's crazy.
Yeah. We trusted him above all, even throughout the pregnancy, that, you know, he knew the plan for her life and he had purpose. Even if the doctors are right and she didn't make it, or she had all these complications, we knew that he had a purpose in that, and something beautiful and good would blossom out of that. And so we just, you know, they asked us to terminate the pregnancy multiple times, and we just said, nope, we're trusting God. You know, this is our little girl, whatever that means, even if she only lives for an hour, then that's, you know, that's his plan.
Yeah.
And so we trusted, and she's perfect.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah.
So perfect.
Because who knows better, right? Oh man. From and you know, looking at your Instagram. Hello. Seems like that you were alluding to the fact that doctors didn't really have a lot of faith in what was going on, and what if she was going to make it or not, or you know what they were going to have to do, or you know they kind of cold about it. How did you guys maintain hope through all that? I mean, it's
really interesting. There's really no research on the combination of Down syndrome and hydrocephalus as a co-occurring diagnosis. And they both affect the brain, right? That we know Down syndrome affects the brain, and we know hydrocephalus affects the brain. And their real fear was that with the brain damage caused by hydrocephalus during pregnancy, which the extent of the damage was unknown, in combination with the effects of Down syndrome, that she, like I said, she wouldn't make it, or if she did make it, she would be a vegetable. And that was an assumption on their part. They had no research to go off of. And one of the reasons is because they, in order to have a successful research project, you need a large number of individual participants in a study. And hydrocephalus and Down syndrome are as common as one another separately, but together super rare. So doctors advocate for terminating a pregnancy, and that has also decreased the number of individuals living with this co-occurring diagnosis. And so it makes it really difficult for anyone to do research. I know, isn't that crazy?
Oh man, that breaks my heart. Yeah, because that is a very common question. Even with a single diagnosis, I know that's a very common question that moms hear is, do you want to terminate the pregnancy if there's something wrong, right? So, but that's and obviously that wasn't an option for you, like it wasn't an option for us, for any of our children either. We would never consider doing that. So,
Abigail doesn't even like us talking about that. She said, "What the heck?" Glad you're here,
guys.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
So how is
hope that God had a plan for her life, and the Down syndrome community was very welcoming, very supportive. There's a lot present for Down syndrome in this world,
100%.
Which is really, really nice to have that community.
Oh yeah, there's tons. Yeah. So how's her heart doing now?
Her heart is pretty good. She has one hole in her heart. It's called an ASD, but they're hopeful that with time that will close. So no heart surgeries on her horizon right now.
Oh, good. Good. Let's minimize the surgeries if we can, right? Holy cow. Anything else you got a couple minutes left before we go to our first break. Is there anything else you wanted to share about her story?
I think we covered her first two brain surgeries, but she actually had a third brain surgery Labor Day weekend. So she was just about 3 months old. Just shot at 3 months old, and she experienced another shunt failure.
Oh boy!
And so they went back in and had to replace her shunt. So by 3 months old, she had already had 3 brain surgeries.
Oh man, it's got me beat.
One more surgery this past January on her airway.
Oh man, she had a surgery on her airway.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Surgery on her airway. With Down syndrome, they can have low muscle tone, and the muscles in there were more or less too floppy, and it was closing off her airway all the time, so she couldn't breathe. And she was on oxygen and different things. But now she's good.
Well, glad that surgery got taken care of then. Holy cow. See, I didn't even think about that part. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's amazing. I am. Thank you for sharing all of that about her story and everything. I'm so excited to hear about your foundation, which is what we're going to talk about in our next when we come back from the commercial break, and we are going to do that here in just a couple minutes. Here, we'll see you after the break.
Okay.
As soon as we.
There.
Okay.
And then go to
this one.
Yep.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I wanted you guys to know that during the break, we had some comments from a couple folks that they just couldn't get over her, man. Abigail is so cute. They were just gushing. So everybody loves her. She's a star. And we can't even hardly see her face. She's cuddling right now. So, okay. So we, man, what a story. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around a couple of things you said during that segment, but, we can maybe come back to some of that if we have time. But what is the, you have a foundation that you've created in honor of Abby. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we started, we're just starting it. We're just getting up and running. It's called the Archer Foundation for Hydrocephalus. And we have created this organization to provide hope to children in the pediatric hydrocephalus community. So through our foundation, we are going to be sending gift boxes of hope to children prenatally through age 17 who are diagnosed with hydrocephalus. You know, you can get it prenatally like Abigail, or you can get it after birth, like you at 2 weeks old. You can also acquire it when you're 10 years old from a sports injury. There's a number of ways that you can acquire hydrocephalus. And so anybody, in that pediatric age range can go on our website and request to have a free box of gifts sent. And those will be curated based on the child's age. And they'll include different resources, different toys and things to make hospital stays fun, and just things to bring a smile to their day and let them know that there is a community of people here that care about them, that see them, and that want to celebrate their life. So much of medical complications, especially a chronic condition, it's negative, right? It's sad. Not the best. I'm excited about it, right? But at the end of the day, there's a beautiful side of it, and there's a beautiful community of people who are living it with you, and we just want them to know that we're here.
Well, and all life is beautiful, right? I mean, it's, so she's here, let's celebrate, so that's awesome. Yeah. What gave you the idea for the foundation? Was it just, how did that come about?
Well, it came about because for us with that, we're almost kind of lucky that we had that co-occurring diagnosis, because as I stated in the first segment, the Down syndrome community across the world and also just here in America is so wonderful. They're all so welcoming. They are celebratory, and they shout the worth of their children, every day, whether it's social media or TV or any chance they get. They're making sure the world knows how worthy and amazing their children are. And we love that, and we love being a part of it, and we're so lucky. But Down syndrome was like the least scary part of our pregnancy. The fact that we didn't even know if Abigail had a brain or if she was going to survive, and the lifelong condition, that hydrocephalus is, and the fact that the shunts fail constantly, and it's just a ticking time bomb, right? There's really not, while there's periods where everything's okay, there's always that notion in your back of the mind that, is it going to fail? Is her shunt working? Especially for us now, when she can't communicate with us, tell us, how she's feeling, if she's having a headache. A lot of the symptoms, are so similar to things babies do, like being sleepy, throwing up. Well, she does all those things. That's what she does. She's a baby. She spits up and she sleeps, right?
Right.
So this invisible condition for us right now, it's like there's this extra layer of stress. We just wanted to be able to bring something similar that we saw in the Down syndrome community into the hydrocephalus community, where we didn't see kind of as much rallying of support and connectivity between different families. And so we're trying to bring that to the hydrocephalus community.
That's awesome. That's so exciting because you're right. There are because Down syndrome isn't invisible. There's tons of stuff out there, rallying around that, and but hydrocephalus. If you look online, if you look on Facebook, there's thousands of groups around the world, for support and encouragement and stuff like that from all kinds of countries all over the place for hydrocephalus too. But you're right. It is a little less. It's a little less than. Anyway, that's great.
Yeah. And we live in this social world, right, where we share pictures and we share reels and stories, right, on social media.
Right.
And it's really easy for a condition where there's physical features, right? Where there's this physical sign that you guys all belong together with Down syndrome. And we're grateful to be a part of that. But with hydrocephalus, that doesn't exist, right? Everybody you have no idea. You would have no idea that any family sharing photos short of a hashtag or a storyline, but we live in this quick visual of like, I'm looking at pictures and I'm scrolling.
Right. Or right? Surgery pictures or something. That's part of the reason that we created Hydro with Hope, because of that, because there's so, you could see, if you looked through my Facebook feed, you'd see pictures of, stuff over the years, but very few of them are here. In fact, on purpose, I did not put a lot of posts on there about pictures of me in the hospital or, here's my new scar, check it out, or anything like that. It stays very invisible, by default, I think. And so it's important to put it out there. Yeah, for sure. So what is, I kind of caught this, what you were taught, you said it a little bit a minute ago, but what is the main goal, mission for the foundation?
Yeah, the main mission is to create community and to celebrate children with hydrocephalus through our Box of Hope program, and through, like I said, creating community and bringing everyone together and sharing that message of hope.
Amazing. And how did you come up with why Archer Foundation? What's the inspiration behind the name?
Yeah, absolutely. Abigail's middle name is Archer. She's Miss Abigail Archer. Nice. And we got her middle name from her sibling who passed away. So we had a miscarriage prior to Abigail. And actually, the day that Archer passed away was Abigail's exact due date, 1 year apart. So we knew they shared a special connection with that date. And so we decided to give Abigail his name, which was Archer, in order to honor and memorialize him. And then when we were creating this foundation, we thought that it's a beautiful name to just continue on, not only to honor Abigail, but also to honor Archer.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So what specifically are you, you kind of touched on this, but is there specific, what was the specific need that you were going for to fill, with this? I know you're talking about the boxes and with the stuff in there for the kids, age appropriate, but was there something more behind that?
Yeah, specifically, we, just that joyful part. We were able to find a lot of information on hydrocephalus. We were able to, find a couple other families that maybe had hydrocephalus. There's really great medical websites and exactly what it is and what are the treatments, and just very cut and dry, right? But just not that personal, like, hey, let's get excited to be a part of the hydrocephalus community. Let's see the beautiful side of it. So we're really focused on that happy side of it, and just saying, hey, we want to be the light in this dark cloud for you. And kids love gifts, right? They love,
right?
It's so exciting to get mail and have a package show up in the mail. And for any child experiencing what is now going to be a marathon, right, in their life,
right?
It's so wonderful to get a gift like that in the mail. And have somebody else say, we care about you and we see you.
And just out of curiosity, I mean, where are you? This might be something, as this broadcast is, over time, even as more people watch it, I want to ask this question, just get it out there so that maybe you can get help with this if you need it. But you kind of touched on the types of things that are in the box or the gift that you're giving the children. But where does all that kind of stuff come from? Where do you get it? What idea? I mean, where do you come up with the ideas of what to put in there? Are there companies that are helping you fulfill that? Or is there suppliers or anything that you need? Or is there like, how can that be made easier for you?
Yeah, we accept financial donations through our website. And we also have an Amazon wish list there where people can look at some of the individual gifts and have them shipped. And we're working through partnerships with both local, like small business vendors who can supply different gift items. And also we will start working with larger corporations to see if we can get larger gift donations. But everything is donation based. And like I said, we're still working through some of those partnerships and always looking to grow those partnerships.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so when you're putting those boxes together, are you guys putting them together for yourself and you're doing all that? Okay.
Yeah, we will be putting the gift boxes together ourselves. We haven't sent any yet. We are just in the infancy stage here of getting up and running. Our website is now live and we'll be able to accept requests. And so very shortly we'll be able to start sending gifts out.
That's so cool. Oh man. So the reason I ask is there's a couple of things that I might want to, I'll send you some info about a couple companies that just popped into my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be able to, and anybody out there that has ideas, there's a way, you can comment on the Facebook page, under the episode here, even live while we're here doing that. If there's anybody else out there that has, something that might be able to help them, chime in, man. We're all ears. We'd love to want to get this off the ground and get it going, so that more families can benefit, because that's amazing. That's awesome. All this stuff that I kind of, I keep thinking, man, wouldn't that have been nice 40 years ago, for my parents? That would have been great. So you guys are doing amazing things. What is there goals that you guys have set that you've have you met, what have you hit so far? Have you hit any goals that you've set as far as that goes yet?
Our goals are all like strategic planning in nature right now. Launching the website was a goal. We're just finalizing our with our graphic designer. We have a wonderful graphic designer from our church who has stepped up to help us, and she is finalizing all of our print material right now. So that was a huge goal of ours. Once we have that packaging milestone, which we're about to hit, when she gets all that printed material back, then we are able to launch and start sending. So we're almost at that first box goal, which is really a great starting point for us.
That's awesome. Oh man, that's exciting. And obviously, we'll have information about where people can get in touch with you guys for sure. Because obviously, for some reason it just popped into my head. I'm thinking, how cool would it be? Because people bring gifts to people, in the hospital, and they get little, like a teddy bear, they get a balloon, or they get a whatever. But you guys are putting together like actual boxes of stuff, and that is so cool. So it's like Christmas.
Yeah, they're really nice. Each box the contents of the box for each is worth about $150. So it's not, it's not just like a chinky little gift. It actually is a lot of really nice things. And a lot of the gifts that are in there are from our experience of multiple hospital stays and, what is entertaining for different age ranges. We also have our resident gift advisor here. Who knows a lot about gift giving and what kids like and enjoy doing. So she stays ahead of all of the trends at school. So she can advise us on what fidgets and spinners and whatnot are cool these days.
That's awesome. Wait, how old are you again? I'm sorry. What grade are you in?
First grade.
First grade. Oh man, see, that's perfect for trendsetters, man. First grade. That's that is amazing. I love that. Oh man. So, well, I'll tell you what. I think we're going to go to our second commercial here in just a second, and we will come back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
All right. All right, and we're back. Awesome. That was fun. I love hearing about all that stuff. So obviously so our organization is called Hydro with Hope. So we're on the same page with that. We're spreading hope, because especially in this, in this world in general nowadays, it's scarce anyway, but not to mention, somebody with invisible conditions. So inside your foundation, outside your foundation, how do you guys, how do you find hope and spread hope in the midst of all the challenges that you guys have with what's going on?
Inside our foundation, of course, with our Box of Hope program, we want to spread hope through our gifting program. We're also going to spread hope through sharing stories to make sure that any parent that's facing a diagnosis that does turn to the internet or social media to try to connect with other families, that connection point is there. and then they can see the beautiful side of hydrocephalus, not just the negative side. Cora, also on our website, will be having a sibling corner. That was another
Cool.
kind of difficult area. There's families that have multiple children or siblings. There's a lot that goes into that with multiple hospital stays, and how does that affect the sibling? And is it scary? Can you make it fun? We had to relocate and stay at Ronald McDonald House for a while, and that was kind of scary for us. There's also COVID rules at hospitals, right? You can't have your other children there all the time. And so Cora is creating a wonderful sibling club. You're going to tell them what your sibling club will offer.
I will be sharing the best tips and tricks on how to make the hospital fun and how to be the best.
Well, that's wonderful. And what makes the hospital fun?
There's fun ice cream robots and mommy's friends, and there are fun parties.
There's fun parties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's gonna be sharing with other siblings all about that and spreading hope for the other children that were, in her shoes. And there's definitely a way to make all those experiences really positive for your siblings.
Nice. Oh man. Thank you. That was awesome. I love hearing from you, man. Oh, that's so cool. And that's the stuff that nobody thinks about, right? The how does it affect? I mean, obviously it affects your immediate family. It affects mom and dad, and it affects, but how does it affect extended family? How does it? Yeah, that's gonna be amazing. What kind of things have you been able to encourage to help other people in similar situations, like encouragement, or what other kinds of things have you been able to do for other family? I mean, there's not you said it's pretty rare, but of families that you've met maybe in the Ronald McDonald House or anything, like what kind of encouragement have you been able to spread there?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite stories, and was a big inspiration also from us, getting the energy to step forward and make the Archer Foundation, gave us a big push, was a mom who had reached out to me on Instagram. She found Abby's page through us sharing our journey, and she was pregnant, and she had just had her 20-week scan, exact same as us. And they had already known that their son was likely going to have Down syndrome. But at that 20-week scan, they found themselves in that exact same boat, where they found out that his ventricles were enlarged. They were encouraged to have an abortion, and they knew there was this likelihood of hydrocephalus, and they were given no hope. And she found Abby's page and said, "Hey, Abby looks okay." And she was literally, she was in tears. She had no clue who I was, but said, "Here's my phone number. Please call me. Please, tell me something other than the doctors have told me." And I reached out. It was 9:00 on a Saturday night, and I got to call her and provide her hope and tell her, all about Abby's journey. And we remained friends through the rest of her pregnancy, and we remained connected and in contact with one another. And her son was just born, and his hydrocephalus went away. That's the thing about hydrocephalus too, is your ventricles can be enlarged during that pregnancy period, but that can change, right? While the brain's developing, that drainage system can, if there is a slight blockage for a period of time, it can release, and things can change. And week by week, his ventricles kept getting smaller, and he does obviously have Down syndrome, but no hydrocephalus, no issues with shunt, and that's a baby that would have been terminated. But
sure.
It is here, it is here, and is perfectly fine. And he's so beautiful, and they're so happy and elated.
Oh man, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing about this kind of medical stuff. I mean, especially with hydrocephalus with the ventricles. And in fact, I know somebody that outgrew it when he was, I think he was in high school. And they, he had obviously, he was born with it, and then had the shunt, and then had a revision or two probably. And I don't remember his whole story, but yeah, he went to an appointment recently in the last few years, and they said it's, I mean, they're not going to remove it because it's more dangerous to remove it than to just leave it there, but it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it anymore. It's amazing how the human body can sometimes just, thank you, no more calls. We don't need you anymore. It's awesome. So, so you've got you've pulled some really good stuff out of there. I mean, that is a lot of challenges. We've had some, I keep an eye on the audio response here, and they can't get enough, man. By the way, they love hearing from Big Sister too. So that was awesome. You were great. You did a great job on your first TV appearance. Fantastic. Congratulations. You're a star too. So yeah, well, there's a comment in here that literally it says, "What a great big sister." So
she is a great big sister. She's made every hospital stay more fun, and we're so blessed to have had her through this process. We were so nervous.
Yeah.
How it would affect her, the negative side of things, but we relocated to Philadelphia and had to stay at the Ronald McDonald House, and we didn't know what that meant. And as soon as Cora got there, she was like, "The McDonald's hotel is so cool. There's free snacks and there's games and there's toys," and like she saw every positive benefit she possibly could and made everything so much better. So we're so blessed to have had to be able to walk this journey through the eyes of a child.
Well, and congratulations to you as her parents, because not every child has that outlook, and it makes a difference how they're raised and how you paint that outlook for them. So, I mean, you guys are doing something right too. She is amazing, but it's because she's a product of, she's your child, so you're doing something right too. It's awesome. It's so cool to see this, you guys sticking together and being so encouraging and positive. And so have you reached out to other social media? I mean, what social media are you on right now?
Yeah, we're on Instagram.
Okay.
We don't have Facebook currently. We're never big social media people. We didn't have social media until we had all these things with Abby and trying to find that community and find others that may be in a similar boat as us. So right now we just have our Instagram, which our Instagram for the foundation is Archer's Hope. And then we have our website, which is archershope.org.
Right on. We're going to put it right up there for people to see.
It is.
There it is, everybody. Instagram and the website. Go check it out. And and I honestly, personally, Instagram, I mean, for me, Catherine's the Instagram guru in the family, and I'm more Facebook, and so we kind of partner on that, and she does much better in the Instagram world than I do. I don't get it still, but so I don't know if how you guys would do with doing the different platforms and stuff, but there are some ones out there that are like, we've had so much engagement on Facebook in the group, in the page that we have, that might not be a terrible one to get something up on there and start spreading the word through that as well.
Yeah, that's on somewhere in the next steps. We'll start a Facebook.
Great. Yeah. I mean, every social media platform's got the good and the bad and the ugly, right? But if you can use it for good, why not, right? So,
absolutely.
So I know it's usually all about the kids especially when there's something going on, but tell us about how you guys have navigated it as far, and how your marriage has been affected and how you've handled that, because that's a piece that not a lot of people talk about, is the behind the scenes part, when the kids are asleep and it's just mom and dad talking.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take that one?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay. We're really blessed to have John's parents. We actually moved when we were pregnant with Abigail to only be like 2 miles from them and a really good hospital from where we were living before. So we had that emergent care. But the benefit of being near John's parents has been immense. There's a wonderful example of a long-lasting marriage for us, and they've been with us every step of the way. John's mom also relocated with us to Philadelphia and took shifts with us in the NICU so we could take breaks. She helped with Cora obviously as well, and every day, no matter what, she was always reminding us to lean into each other. Don't lean. In these types of situations, you can't lean away from each other. You have to lean into each other, and we just kept doing that over and over. No matter how hard it got. Just leaning into each other, leaning into our faith. We also have a wonderful community at church. Our pastors have sat through the hospital with us. They've prayed over our doctor teams. Our whole church congregation has prayed for us, on Sundays. They've brought us meals and diapers, and our world was created to be in community with one another, not to do things alone. And staying in that community as both a family and for us, our church, has really been a huge blessing and a help and an inspiration, right? They are always constantly giving us that reminder that we've got this and we can keep going. And they're like those cheerleaders on the sideline, encouraging us to continue the fight.
That's amazing. Church family makes such a huge difference. I can say that from personal experience. We've been at the same church for about 15 years, and with all the things that we've been doing the last few years with surgeries, for me, it's huge. It's so huge. And even if it's not tangible support, with donations or food or whatever, it's still that encouragement is huge. And I'm so glad you guys have that. And with the parents being close, man, that's nice. Not everybody has that. Yeah. Oh man. So where can the audience, we talked about your organization a little bit. We've got the banner here that's got your website and the Instagram. What is the best way for people to reach you, to help you, to benefit you and your organization to grow it and launch it the way you want?
Absolutely. Everything is on our website, archershope.org. There's, obviously different website tabs for making donations or sharing your story. If you have a child who has hydrocephalus and you'd like to share your story, you can do that through our website. There's forms. There's contact us forms on there as well. And, there's, even if you can't make a financial or monetary donation, just spreading the word about our organization is always helpful. Sharing our Instagram page, sharing our website with others who may have hydrocephalus, that's just a huge help for us. I think you shared last week, there's like over 400,000 babies a year born with hydrocephalus. And then if you add the number of just children in general who are diagnosed with hydrocephalus throughout the pediatric years, we have an opportunity to send a lot of gifts. And we want to spread the word to as many people and healthcare facilities as possible, so that when those diagnoses are being handed out, it's not with negativity, but with hey, you'll also be getting it. Hey, heck, your son or daughter has hydrocephalus, but you're going to get a gift in the mail, right?
Yeah.
We want that to
exactly.
We want that to be part of the standard of celebration rather than negativity.
Totally. Exactly. That was our thing too. That's why we created our journal, so that there'd be something so it's not all, collapsing inward and oh my gosh, what's happening? It's like, wait, hold on. Here's something to help. Here's something tangible. That's what I love about what you're doing, is the fundraising page is great, and but something tangible that you could just hand them and say, here, this is going to help you in the immediate, right now. So that is perfect. Thank you for putting that out. That's going to be so huge for so many people. I can't wait for your organization to just blow up and be everywhere. I can't wait to spread the word and get it out there. So, well, I am so thrilled that we were able to spend this time together. Thank you for being here, and thank you for having the whole family on. That was awesome. I love that part. That is super fun. There we go.
We appreciate the opportunity to share about our story and our organization. Thank you so much.
You are more than welcome. Is there any last minute? We got about a minute left. Do we want to, anything else? Or are we good?
Yeah, I'll just say thank you to everybody who is watching and listening. And if you have an invisible condition, we see you and you are celebrated and supported. And we're so thankful to have joined this community of individuals living with the various conditions, whether they're invisible or not. Those invisible conditions are often unnoticed.
Well, thank you so much for being here. You have a beautiful family. Keep up the good work. And everybody, go to their website and check them out. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.